Hi, everybody. We are getting ready to start a whole new program of intro to baritone and intro to ukulele. And you should go to jollyrogerukulele.com to pick up the sheet music. We're going to be calling this series Foundations, which is the idea here would be if you're new to the instrument or if you're new to this style of play, that you would be able to rather conveniently sit down, study up this new system. We definitely work at a higher or more music. I don't know if it's more musical or harder. It's definitely plenty to keep us all busy. And so let me make sure that I've got the website set up correctly so everybody can get in here. We play ukulele and baritone ukulele simultaneously in these programs so that you can have an opportunity to play in an ensemble fashion, meaning that there'll be more than. Boy, this phone has just been going crazy. I hope that nothing is more. Nothing really important is going on. All right, let's see. Let me tweet us for it first. HTTPS:// HTTPS jollyrogerukulele.com. Yep, there I am. Tweet. All right, so now I'm tweeted, and uh, my email box was empty this morning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 30 emails in the last 4 hours. It's like I have a job or something. If you're new here, welcome and delighted to have you. Make sure that you have taken a look at the jollyrogerukulele.com website, and we'll get all of us going here in just a few minutes. We try to get the room open right at the top of the hour, and then we start the lesson about 5 minutes after. That gives everybody a few minutes to get in and get settled down. Vic says the sound is good. That's always a positive sign. Between all of the technology and all this stuff, I'm surprised I don't just catch on fire. I try to set up the viewing where it looks like, oh, he's very, a couple musical instruments, an old lamp, it's supposed to make you feel comfortable. Really, on the other side of this, there's wires and all this stuff. You guys know, a lot of you guys have been working from them. Elizabeth, I'm new here. Vicky sent you. Oh, I thought you and Vicky were friends, and she sent you here. She must think that you're needing some tragedy in your life. Yeah, Vic has been working with me a lot, and really glad you're here, Elizabeth. We'll have fun. We'll make you a good ukulele player. Burke is here. Burke has been with me a little while. She is local, and good to have you here. Nancy in from Florida. Sound is good. And guys, as you are logging in, you do not have to participate in the chat bar. Your chat bar is over on this side. But if you want to, if you have a Gmail account, you can log into Yahoo. Not Yahoo. If you have a Gmail account, you can log into YouTube, and then that gives you access to the chat bar. Now, if you have questions or whatever, as we're going through the class, you can ask questions. And otherwise, it's perfectly fine not to log in and just sit and listen. And this style of ukulele play is quite a bit different than you will typically run into in most of your day-to-day ukulele activities. It's certainly unique on many levels. It's not the style that I teach is not a unique style. It's been around since really the 13th, 14th century. And so what we teach here is designed to get you to this high level of musicianship. And it's not very many people are doing it. Most people are learning their 6 chords and just singing and strumming and having a great time. And that's perfectly fine. We want you to be able to do that too. I'll teach you how to do that as well. Let's see, Elizabeth. We want to get me strumming. I can read music. Want you to get me strumming. Strumming. 1, 2, 3, 4. There, you're all done. We'll do some of that. We play in all the different ways. There's every single way that ukulele can be played. We play it here, and the difference will be that you will also be playing melodies. You'll be playing chord and melody together. You'll be playing arpeggios. You'll be playing uh, really all of the top level musical skills. We will be going through all of those, and it's just about matter about trying to get you better than the ukulele player you were yesterday. And so every day we just kind of chug along a little bit, rearrange this class quite a bit so that we can have baritone and ukulele happening at the same time and give you a chance, one, to hear the difference between the instruments, and two, to play along with somebody who's playing a different instrument than you. And so playing ensemble skills as well as solo skills is stuff we cover here. Let's see. Linda says, Brother Rick and I are here, both newbies. Brother Rick sounds like trouble. I got to be honest. He's hanging out with you, Linda. I know he seems like a good guy, but I bet he's trouble. Glad you guys are here. Delighted to have you. Duke, the Duke is what he goes by. That's Dennis. Glad you're here, Dennis. Good to see you, bud. Donna's in. She's a local. I'm broadcasting from Denver, but that's, of course, JollyRogerUkulele.com is set up to work wherever you are playing. We get people in from all over the world. And then we have a few locally. We have the Rocky Mountain Ukulele Orchestra, which I founded a few years back, a long time ago now, and that's got its own website. All right, so let's get going. So the first thing I want to do is just run very quickly through the sort of the mechanics of the website so that you know what's going on. On the front page of the website are the most important things that we have going on week to week. And so the top little graphic, it will change from week to week depending on what's going on. And then right underneath that top graphic, it says community info this week, the daily schedule. Every day around noon, it'll be pretty close to top of the hour. I'll post that link, and then we start this class at 5 minutes after the hour. This class is going to be a lot. Okay, my job is within 6 weeks to get you every single piece of music off the ukulele and baritone list. And so we go pretty quickly. There is no shame in taking this class 2, 3, 4 times, because if you're newer to music, you're going to get a lot of vocabulary and a lot of stuff coming at you that you just you might need to take it a second time to review. I've had lots of people take this class 3 or 4 times. Marcia, a friend of mine, has taken it 9 times. And it's this intro to ukulele class. It's going to get you the foundational skills you need to play forever. And so the daily schedule will be there right under that with the little girl playing ukulele to the butterflies. That's your section. And so let's run through some of those pieces of paper real quick. The first paper that I have posted there is a list of my local information. I want you to have my email address and my phone number. It's on that page. Don't hesitate to send me a text or toss me an email. I will let you know. I've gotten 30 emails in the last 4 hours. About 20 of those have to be dealt with, and so just know I am pretty slow about responding to email. Don't think if I didn't write you back, I don't care about you. I read everything. Sometimes I don't have time to get back to you. Next under that is stuff about the shop that I run and the studio that I run here locally. You probably don't need that information. But down at the bottom, what every musician needs, when it talks about buying a ukulele, the strings you need, the sizes and types, and about low G tuning. What I want to talk about the basic stuff is let me grab this ukulele. If you are a full-sized adult, you probably need to be playing a tenor. If your fingers are a little bit shorter, you might play concert. Very few players need a soprano size, and I don't even have a soprano size here in the room. Soprano sizes it's very challenging to fit your hands into this small space. So you want to be thinking about owning a tenor ukulele. If you're a full-size adult with full-size hands, there's a lot of bad information out there about which is the best size of ukulele. It's all determined by the size of your hand is what size ukulele you should have. And if you are a full-size adult, you're probably going to want to play with a tenor. I do have a few students with shorter fingers. They tend to go to concert size. However, if you have real thick fingers, that may be the wrong choice, and you may be thinking, hey, you might need to go up to baritone if you have real thick fingers. So your hand really determines the size of ukulele you should be purchasing. Um, whatever ukulele you have in your lap right now is the right ukulele for you right now. You will learn how to play on it just fine, and so don't spend a lot of time going around the internet worrying about whether you have the right ukulele or not. Whatever one you have is fine. Second thing on here, you do want to get a gig bag with it. You are going to be carrying your ukulele around. Please don't carry your ukulele around outside without a little gig bag. They're next to nothing on Amazon. If you didn't buy one, get one. I see that. Well, I live in a downtown area. We have a lot of homeless people here, and I see a lot of them carrying guitars without cases, and it just makes me every time I'm like, don't do that with that guitar, you know. So second thing, the strings that you have on your ukulele that come with it will be white almost for sure. Those are not your best strings. We'll talk over time, but long term you want to change out your strings to fluorocarbon, and you do need to change your strings every 6 months to 1 year. If you play every day like I want you to, you'll need to change your strings out more often. If you don't play at all, you still need to change your strings out once a year because the modern materials die. So fluorocarbon is the right answer for the best sounding strings. We talked about sizes, and then some of you might have a low G ukulele, has a low G string here, and I do want you to pay attention. You can't just change. Some people have a high G ukulele and they suddenly decide they need to have a low G, and they want to put a metal wound string here. You don't want to do that. You can break your ukulele. You can put a plastic low G string on here. I don't think they sound very good, but that's something for you to consider down the road. If you are a baritone player, obviously, you have a lot more room on the fretboard to work here, and you'll have two metal wound strings here, and then again, two fluorocarbon strings here. If you, both of these instruments we play them exactly the same way. It's just that one is in a different key than the other, and we'll be talking about that as we go along. Next thing on that list of papers that I want you to take a look at, tuning your instrument. That's actually critical information. If you bought a ukulele and it came with a tuner like this, they sent a really cheap one. The minute that breaks, and it will break, you want to get a super tight HZ Snark. This is top of the line. There are no better tuners out there right now. You're going to be tuning this ukulele every single day, and so you clip it on, turn it on. Okay, it's just got a button in front. Now I'm going to tune baritone first. So if you have your baritone, if you're a baritone player, I got these really tightened down here. So your baritone is tuned to D, dark, G, gloomy. Baritones explode. D, G, B, E. That's for those of you playing baritone. And make sure, if you have a baritone, double check that you're sounding about like mine. I have new strings on this baritone. They sound really weird so far. And then for ukulele, yours is George Clooney Eats Apples. Okay, so again, your top string is a G. Should sound about like that. Next one's a C. It should sound. Can you tell I changed strings on all my ukuleles over break? That's a C. That's what yours should sound like. E is the next one. George Clooney eats. And finally, apples. George Clooney eats apples. Those of you who are a certain age, we know who George Clooney is. Young kids don't know who George Clooney is, and so we got to bring him back. We got to make the kids these days have been using "goats can eat anything." That's their an acronym that they use for that. Proper posture when playing. Let's make sure that you get this right off the bat. I'm going to actually switch over to the screen where I'm looking at you in your eyeballs. This is of anything I teach on day one. This is the second most important thing. Okay. Let's see. Connie's anxious to learn. Rob, welcome in. Oh, it's Kat's husband. Oh my gosh, Kat hangs out with me. Kat's like a maniac. Like she's serious hardcore musician, and poor Rob's like, oh, okay. Glad you're here, Rob. Good to see you, bud. All right, so posture with it doesn't matter whether you're playing baritone or ukulele. It's the same exact thing. Okay. One, strongly recommend that you get a strap on your ukulele. If you don't have the little button on here, you just drill a pilot hole and stick one on. That goes on here. Tie this upper end on with a string, shoestring type thing. This, I can't emphasize enough how helpful that is right there. Now I'm not going to accidentally drop my ukulele. There's a million other types of straps. You don't want to use any of them. You want the one that hooks on the bottom and ties on to the top. I promise. I promise. I've used all of the other straps and they're all terrible. Next is if you don't have the strap, obviously everything still stays the same. Your thumb. This is critical. Number one. This is actually probably more important than learning how to play. Your thumb goes back here where I don't see it. It does not go here. It does not go here. It goes here. Okay. And you'll make it harder on yourself. If your ukulele is horizontal, you're going to make your life so much harder. Okay. Because then your thumb has no choice but to come up when it gets time to chords. So your thumb goes here. I never see your thumb. This is the only rule that I'm aware of in ukulele. And when you watch other ukulele players play, there's two types. There's amateurs that they've taught themselves how to play, and their thumb is always up here, doing weird, stupid stuff. And there's professionals, and their thumb will be up here. Theirs is a different situation. They already are at a level of playing that you're unlikely to attain, and so if they're doing weird things with their thumb, they're getting away with it because they're spending a lot of time practicing and they're getting away with it. It's not recommended. Okay, perfect thumb position is to have your thumb back here. This will get you to high level skill. And by the way, plenty of professionals actually do their thumb correctly as well. But I watched Jake's Christmas special, Jake Shimabukuro, and there's plenty of times when his thumb's being lazy. But when he's getting serious about making legit complicated chording, his thumb is magically pops into the correct position. And so don't be of the notion that your thumb can be up here. It does not ever need to be there playing ukulele. Always back here. Ukulele is at about a 45-degree angle, 45, 50, 60-degree angle. This is surprisingly close to my face. Okay. And again, same exact situation with baritone. I will mostly not be playing with the straps. With baritone, you got a little bit bigger instrument, so it actually sits in your lap pretty well. And again, thumb is here. Okay, all of this is exactly the same. There's no difference in the way we play baritone versus the way we play ukulele. No difference whatsoever. Baritone gives you a little bit more width in the neck, in the frets. So when we get to playing a D chord on ukulele, it's an A chord on baritone, and so you got a tiny bit more room to fit it in here. Okay, so there's that. Next. On our list of things to talk about, that's the ukulele posture sheet. Getting to know your fretboard. For those of you guys that have prior music knowledge, you care about this stuff. You want to name the names of the notes along here. For the rest of you, that's just information. You do not need to know the names of the notes on your fretboard, nor ultimately do even advanced ukulele players. A lot of them it's not wasted time. It's just not required for you to know that this is, a G note or on baritone on ukulele. It's a C note. It's not necessary. It's frankly not helpful. That's why this 17th century method of using tablature is much more efficient and much faster and much easier for you ultimately to be playing on a fretted instrument. I'm not against you learning to read the standard notation. I think it's one of those things that you ought to learn at some point, but it is by no means necessary right off the bat here. And you have a practice log. My suggestion is, at least in the beginning, to start a practice log. Go ahead and write down when you practice. The main reason for that is when we are practicing on a regular basis, we get a mindset of, hey, I'm going to remember a little bit about what I practiced yesterday, today, and the day after. If you only practice once a week, it's hard to retain that information. But if you do a little bit every day, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute, whatever you have time to do, you're going to be much more likely to carry over the knowledge that you were getting yesterday into today. And then finally, at the bottom of that, it's a progress tracker, and you can go through every single piece of music on the ukulele and baritone tab. We will be going over from book one. And so it's a good chance for you to write the date down that you did this stuff, and any notes that you have for yourself. And let's be clear, many things are going to take you more than 1 day to master. Okay. And so be patient with yourself and let that sort of move along. All right, let's see. Let me take a peek at who else wandered in here. Q is back. And Valerie. She missed the very first class of the year. Oh, Valerie. All right, so I'm going to switch to ukulele. Baritone players, hang on with me. You got to pay attention to what you're playing. Okay, if you're playing a baritone, you're going to do one thing, and if you're playing a ukulele, you're going to do something different. Okay, but the theory here is the same. Okay, so we're going to play from the ukulele music. We're going to play Frère Jacques, and so I grabbed the ukulele solo piece of music up, and what I'm going to be playing in is the key of, let me double check that I'm not lying to you, is the key of A. So for ukulele, you're going to be doing this shape. This is your A chord in on ukulele. For baritone, your shape is this shape. So you have index, middle, ring, all stuffed into the second fret. Okay, so it doesn't matter which instrument you have, you're going to be playing an A chord. So ukulele, index, and middle, that's your A chord. For baritones, just put your index, middle, and ring into the second one. Okay, now when we do this, we get a chord, right? And that's when you bought your ukulele, that's what you thought. You thought, you know what, I'm going to be playing a lot of strumming, and so that's what I want to be able to do. So we're going to do that for a minute. Okay, and so let's, how we look on, if you look at your Frère Jacques paper, it says 4/4 up at the upper left-hand corner under next to chords and lyrics, says 4/4. Okay, you don't care what the bottom number means. The top number says 4, and that's going to be 4 strums in every measure, and the measures are divided up by the vertical line. So in Frère Jacques, measure 1, Frère Jacques, that's 4 beats. Next measure, measure 2, Frère Jacques, 4 beats. Next measure is 5. It says dormez-vous, and then there's a note that has a hole in the middle of it. That's worth 2 beats. So it's actually dormez-vous, 4, dormez-vous, 4. Okay, so that's your 4 beats. And then when you get to measure 5 and 6, it says sonne les matines, sonne les matines. And so each of those, the sonne les ma are all half beats. Okay, so they're very fast. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So they go by very quickly. And then the last measure, 7 and 8, you got dung, dang, dong, 4, ding, dang, dong, 4. So those of you guys that are getting comfortable with singing and strumming, we only have 1 chord you're going to hold, and you're just going to use your thumb down first to start off. So 4 beats each, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous, sonne les matines, sonne les matines, ding, ding, dong, ding, ding, dong. So 4 beats per measure, every measure. Sometimes they call them bars. If you're cool, you call them a bar. If you're more traditional, you call them measures. Both words mean the same thing. It's just 4 beats per thing. Okay, now let's do a different idea. Let's do 8 beats in the same space. Let's take this index finger down, just take it down, and then bring it up. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Again, holding your chord. I'm going to switch instruments over to the baritone, so those of you with ukuleles get a chance to play a little bit different sound. Okay, so we'll both be playing an A chord. It's just that my shape is going to be a little bit different than your shape. Let's close enough. And here we go. 4 beats, but instead this time down, up, down, up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous, sonnez les matines, sonnez les matines, ding, ding, dong, ding, ding, dong. Okay, so beautiful, right? So that up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down is the same as down, 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 down. It's just twice as fast. You're hitting down when you go down, usually with the top of your fingernail. And then when you come back up, same thing. Okay. Now, I've used a different instrument to play the same song in the same key. So for ukulele, I've got an A chord on. For baritone, I've got an A chord on. We sound a little different. This has a lower voicing than a ukulele, but we sound good when we play together as long as we're both playing the same chord. Okay. So now when we're talking about strumming, the big thing that you want to take away from, I get a lot of questions from people who like singing, but they're not that great at strumming. The problem is you're probably trying, there's a flea going around here. A lot of times when singers are struggling with strumming, it's because they're trying to strum with the speed of the music. That we didn't talk about that, right? We talked about 4 beats or 8 beats. Frère Jacques, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 8 beats. Frère Jacques, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If you are a singer and you enjoy singing and you want to get good at strumming, you stop caring about what's going on in the melody and you start being really focused in on being the drummer and keeping a steady beat. And that's what all I'm doing, and that's all you'll ever do. If you struggle with strumming, it's because you're trying to play along with the music, and that's the wrong thing to do. You want to play along with the drummer. You want to keep your beat steady. And so when we are grabbing this simple chord, you're not doing Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, nothing, dormez-vous, nothing, sonnez les matines, sonnez les matines. You don't want to do that. That's not going to go well for you. And it never does. I always can tell how many lessons a student has by they will play me a song, and then I see them trying to strum along with the music. You don't do that. You strum along with the beat of the music. Okay, so that's sort of a big takeaway on that. Now, we've got baritone, we've got ukulele up and running. We know our chords. Last thing I want to talk about, I'm going to switch over to ukulele, is that strumming is for the average ukulele player. 90% of ukulele players never do anything other than that. For us as instrumentalists, we got to go to the next level. You got to take these 4 fingers, thumb, index, middle, ring. And this is why I don't let you use a pick. Throw your picks away. You're never going to need them. Thumb, index, middle, ring. I own 1 pick. Over at the shop, I have a bowl of picks. They come in and I put them in there. Nobody ever takes it. The bowl is just slowly filling up with picks. But I have 1 pick for my thumb when I play guitar once in a while in a certain style. But other than that, I don't use any picks. These are your picks. Okay. Take your thumb, put it above. I'm going to get up close here. Above the top string. Your index finger underneath the 3rd string, middle finger underneath the 2nd string, ring finger underneath the 1st string. And then you're just going to go pluck, pluck, pluck. Okay, just grab everybody. Okay, put your chord on, which if your ukulele, this is your A chord. If you're baritone, your A chord looks like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? Brother John, Brother John. Morning bells are ringing, morning bells are ringing. Ding, ding, dong. Ding, ding, dong. Okay, double check. Thumb is not showing. Okay, thumb is back here. Got your chord shape on. If you're on ukulele, you're here. If you're on baritone, you're on here. Okay, and all 4 of these 4 fingers, 4 strings. Okay, there's that. That's it. Okay, this shape, we call it a claw shape. This claw shape is going to be incredibly important for you down the road. We're going to be doing some arpeggio picking, and that's going to require you to pick in this shape. So when you're at home practicing the song, yeah, Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques, then Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques. But don't forget, Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques, dormez-vous. We got to start teaching these fingers to do this weird activity so that eventually we can go Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques, dormez-vous. Okay, so we're going to divide those up into individual parts so that we can get arpeggio picking in. But for right now, okay, there's that. So now we've talked a lot about one chord and one strum or multiple strumming patterns. This is the difference between a typical ukulele instruction and an instrumental ukulele instruction is that if you are a singer, your tendency is to just strum some sort of pattern you've come up with and sing. But there's lots of choices. You can still sing and do this one, or this one, or this one, or this one. Okay, so a lot of times people wander the internet and look at strum patterns. Here's the correct strum pattern for this song. That's goofy. There's no correct strum patterns. I know of 2 correct strum patterns in all of music. Other than that, you strum the way you want to strum. Try different ways with each song so that you end up with a meaningful presentation of the song from your heart, from who you are, not what somebody else told you you're supposed to do. There are times when you're supposed to do what somebody tells you to do, and that's when I'm the conductor and you are the orchestra member. Then we have a different relationship. But for the most part, what we're working on here is getting all of your skills possible so that when you go to the strum along and they're playing whiskey in a jar, every strum along that you have choices. Am I going to strum this way? Am I going to strum it this way? Am I going to pluck it? Am I going to fancy pluck it? It gives you lots of choices. What I find when I go to a strum along, and I don't go that often anymore because I just am out of time. I love to go to them. And when I started, I went to those strum alongs to learn how to change my chords more quickly. But when you go to your local ukulele gathering, they're going to give you some lyrics and some chords, and that's it. They're not going to give you real sheet music, and they are going to ask you to strum, right? And so everybody ends up sort of strumming like this, and then I always go in and I always start finger picking the thing, and inevitably whoever's sitting me says, "Boy, your ukulele sounds really nice." Well, it's not the ukulele; it's the technique I'm using on the ukulele. Yeah, the ukulele is fine, but using a different technique. So they're busy strumming. They're hearing these completely new and different sounds coming out of this guy sitting next to them. They don't know who he is, and they're like, "Boy, his ukulele sounds really nice." Well, it's just because I'm doing something different than that person's doing, and it creates a really beautiful pattern where we work together. Okay, now we're going to split up. Okay. You're a ukulele player, you're going to play one way, and baritone players, you're going to play another way. Baritone players, you're sticking with your chord. Okay? Ukulele players, I want you to look at the tablature line on your, and I got to pull it up so I know exactly what I'm talking about here. On your, I already have it open. You'll notice the ukulele melody line. 0240 0240 457 457 797 540 797 540 000 000. That's the melody part you're going to play on this ukulele. This is why it doesn't matter if you read standard notation or not. In the 13th century, they started writing tablature out, started on organ and moved over into fretted instruments, where we're going to just, rather than tell you what note to play, we're just going to tell you how to play it on your instrument. So a 0, and now notice on your tablature that you're playing on the top line, 0240, that's actually your bottom string. And the reason they did that is sometimes you need to hold that up to your sheet music and go, oh, okay, that's the 2 that I'm going to play. And then notice it ends up on the bottom. So you're playing on the bottom string. Now, baritone players, stick with me. You're playing here. You're just playing your chord, 4 beats per measure. And the rest of us are going to be playing the melody notes, 0, and then a 0 on that string, then a 2 on that string, then a 4 on that string, and then another 0, and another 0, and then a 2, and then a 4, and then a 0. And then we'll slide up and we're going to play a 4 and a 5 and a 7. We'll do it again. 4 and a 5 and a 7. Now, those of you guys know the song, this next part's fast and rather challenging to play. 7, use your ring, 7, and then pinky on 9, and then back to the 7, and then 5, 4, 0. 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. And then notice on the last measure, 7 and 8, it says 0 on the top string, then 0 on the second string, and then 0 on the first string. First string, second string, first string. So now we're going to play. Baritone players, super slow strum. I'm going to count you in 1, 2, 3, 4. And the rest of us are going to play the melody, just ukulele players, 0, 2, 4, 0. Now, on here, I tell you right on your sheet music, you should use your ring, your pinky, your ring, your middle, your index, your open, whatever finger I recommend up in the lyrics. I wrote it in for you. You don't have to do that, but you do not want to just use your index finger. You want to use multiple fingers on this exercise. Okay, so from the top, 1, 2, baritones play with me, 3, 4. 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0, 4, 5, 7, strum, 4, 5, 7, strum, baritones, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, strum. Okay, so what we're doing here, we're playing a duet. You can't hear both parts at your house probably unless you're a baritone player. Right now you're hearing just those strums going through real slowly. You'll notice I also took measures 5 and 6. It took us twice as long to play those as it should. I wanted to slow it down our first time through so that we can get it right. So baritone players ended up hitting 8 strums between on 5 and 6 instead of just 4 because I cut it at the time and I doubled the time. Okay, so now let's play it at full speed. Same thing, ukulele players, you're playing one note at a time. Baritone players, you're playing a nice steady 1 strum per beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7. Melody players quick. 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. First string, second string, first string, first string, second string, first string. Beautiful. Okay. If you're a ukulele player tonight, well, the minute we're done with class until tomorrow, I want you to play. That's it. If you can come in tomorrow being able to play, not at that speed, of course, but that's the idea, is that you want to get all of those notes in relationship to each other. You're playing the entire song on this first string except for 2 notes. Every single thing is happening on this string, and you're using multiple fingers as you make your way up all the way up the fretboard and then all the way back down the fretboard to get this tune to come out. So that way you don't have to sing now, right? You've learned the chord, you've learned how to play the melody. The ukulele can do all of those jobs, and you don't have to sing unless you want to. And sometimes you want to. If I'm singing, you don't want me to. Okay. Now, next thing, I want to talk to baritone players specifically and ukulele players. You guys are going to switch over to a different chord shape. Okay. Ukulele players, you get to learn your first E chord. There are entire internet discussions about how do I not play E chord, and it's so dumb. So we're not going to be that person. If you're on ukulele, I got to teach you what an E chord looks like. Okay. You take this finger, you're going to put it all the way up and down on the 4th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then your pinky is going to sit up here on the 7th fret on the top. So that's your E chord. Okay, and we're going to use this one a lot going down the road. And so we're going to have your bar, this is called a bar, just sits on 4, and then your pinky's here. Now there's a good chance it's going to sound like this. Okay, that's okay. Okay, you're just keeping the pace anyway. Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, sonnez les matines, ding, ding, dong. Or if you squeeze a little bit tighter, okay, you're going to get Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, sonnez les matines, ding, dong, ding, dong. That's your E chord, okay? Day one, right? Now, as opposed to what most of the internet is like, how do I never play E chord? I need to never ever play it. You are going to play it. You are going to need to play it. It's going to come up. So there it is. Okay. Now, if you're a ukulele player, you don't have to memorize this yet. We'll get to it. But you need to know it now because you're going to be playing with baritone players. Okay, so that's your E chord. Get it on there. Do the best you can. Baritone players, we are now going to play your melody, and the ukulele players are going to back you up. Pretty unusual. We don't have that happen very often. So you get your baritone out. My strings will eventually stop being ridiculous. Okay. Yeah, close enough. Baritone players, same exact program as the ukulele player. 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. First string, second string, first string, second string, first string. Okay, you ready? Ukulele players, you're grabbing your E chord, strumming it as best you can. If it sounds dead, it sounds dead. I wouldn't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Okay. This is actually how we end up playing ukulele often. If you go to Hawaii and you watch in a band, often the ukulele is actually the drum beat. Okay, works out really nice. It has a cool drum feeling to it. So you're playing the E chord. Baritone players, you're going to play the melody. Okay, and we should be playing together. So stick with me from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. First string, second string, first string, second string, first string. Okay. Now, that's all we have to go over today. So let's talk about very quickly. Not carefully. We don't do anything carefully in ukulele. Let's talk about the things that I think that I taught you and the things that I want you to work on, give you a little bit of homework, and then we will continue moving on throughout the week. First thing. Oh, by the way, hey, Linda, welcome in. Happy New Year. Glad you made it. First off, how to hold the ukulele. Critical. Okay. Critical. Your thumb. Okay. Second, how to tune your ukulele. GCEA or DGBE. That's the hardest thing we have to do online, honestly, is get where we have your ukulele in proper tuning. Your ukulele will be out of tune every single day. You have to tune it every single time you play. That you saw me, my baritone, I tuned up 4 or 5 times during this lesson. Okay, so just get really comfortable with spending some time tuning. Third thing we learned today was your chord. Okay, so we learned your A chord and your E chord. So for ukulele, your A chord is index and middle, and then your E chord is that bar with your pinky. Okay, we did not worry about tone, right? If we sounded terrible, we sounded terrible. You're going to sound terrible for a while. You're a new player. Get comfy with it. It's fine. I sound terrible. I've been playing 20 years, right? And so it's not something you worry about. Next, for baritone players, your A chord is here and your E chord is here. So you guys in this situation have a little bit easier chord shapes than the ukulele players have, and that will not stay that way. Your baritone chords tend to be a little bit more challenging than the ukulele chords. The shapes are the same. It's just which shape you use at any given time tends to be a little bit harder for baritone than for ukulele. Okay. We also learned how to read melody from tablature. That's that top line 0240 0240 457 457 797 540 797 540 000. That is, it takes me this in 30 minutes to teach you how to play from tablature. Once you get it, it's going to take a couple of weeks before you're really comfy with it. Once you get comfy with it, you will be comfy with it for the rest of your life. It takes a little bit of time before your brain will turn that tablature, what it appears to be upside down, until you think about it. It's really your ukulele is you might want to hold it up and it'll help you. So we've learned to play from that system. Again, give yourself a couple of weeks to get really comfy with it, because we're going to be playing from that almost exclusively from here out. We are going to do tomorrow a little bit more work with chords. So you've got your chords, you've got your melody, you got rhythm, right? That's what we talked about with this hand, getting those three things, or three or four different styles of plucking over here going. So we've talked about rhythm, talked about melody, talked about chords, talked about how to tune your ukulele, talked about how to hold your ukulele. That's crazy amount of information in 30 minutes. Okay. And so the big thing is, don't freak out if you're struggling. Okay, you're supposed to struggle in music. You're supposed to have a hard time in the beginning. If you walked in here and it was easy, why would you be here at all? I mean, seriously, the reason people give up on music is they don't get good instruction, and it turns out music's really hard. So if you're going to be good at it, why don't you get some quality instruction? I've been doing this a long time. I really do know what the challenges you're facing, and I really do know how to get you through those challenges. And the way you do that, two things: practice a tiny bit. I don't want you practicing an hour a day. That's crazy thinking. I want you to practice 10, 15 minutes a day. I always tell people as a joke, I need you to practice 1 minute a day. The trip from the lazy boy recliner to your music stand is the longest walk in the world. Getting you to the music stand is the 1 minute I need you to do. Once you're sitting there, you're going to practice for 20 minutes easy, right? It'll be fun. Have your book, have a 3-ring binder, put all this stuff in your book in some meaningful order to you. Mostly I'll just have you put everything in alphabetically, mostly, so that you can be working on the stuff we're working on here in class. We're going to go all the way through that entire list on the ukulele tab for both baritone and ukulele. We're going to go through every last bit of that, and you're going to be a fine player 6 weeks from now. So that's the commitment you're making. I got to keep showing up for 6 weeks. I'm going to show up. And if you can't show up, you got to come over on the archive tab. Every single one of these lessons is recorded, and so I'll post the recording there, and if you miss a day, go listen to the recording of this. It's more fun live because then you can participate in chat, but it's definitely as helpful to go back through and just listen to the lesson and play the stuff that we needed you to play. Here's the reason why I'm teaching baritone and ukulele together at the same time. I want you to be able to play solo, which you will be able to do. I have no doubt about that. But I also need you to be able to play ensemble, because sooner or later, you're going to meet another ukulele player. You're going to meet a guitar player. You're going to meet a piano player. You're going to meet somebody else who's playing a different instrument than you. And you want to already be just set up with those skills. And so we're going to be playing baritone and ukulele together as we go through. It'll be a little bit weird at times because it'll be overly focused in on one or the other. But I want to be able for you to play with both. And so that's where we're at with that. I think in terms of what to do tonight, I would be playing Frère Jacques until I turn purple. Okay, I would absolutely turn that into a thing. I will tell you, every single thing on that piece of music is going to show up as being important and down the road. And so I want you to spend a lot of time with that. The other thing I would do is the little booklet that is in tomorrow's lesson. If you print it out, it prints out correctly, but you have to set it to double-sided short edge binding. Your printer will default to long edge binding, so you got to go in and find the setting for it. So you print it out double-sided short edge binding, and it'll print out as this cute little booklet, and we will be playing from that tomorrow. You're going to learn you're really going to learn 4 chords, but you're going to learn your 3 most important chords for playing with each other: A chord, D chord, and E7 chord. And we'll talk about F sharp minor a little bit. But tomorrow's we're going to spend a lot of time on chords, just to start continuing to get this in and to get your rhythm steadier. Okay, so that's what will be happening tomorrow. So if you can print that booklet out, you got to have a fairly decent printer. If you don't have, if you're not printing anything out, which is also fine, just make sure that you are able to blow that up on the screen in whatever way you need to see it. And we'll be spending most of our time on pages 1 and 2 in that book. But once you get pages 1 and 2, you'll see the whole thing comes together. We will also play Frère Jacques again tomorrow, both ways. We'll play it with chords and with melody. So if it were me, I'd be at home going 797 or 024 00240 and trying to get those notes clean and pretty and as fast as I could. Probably fast is not really a goal around here. Slow is the goal. But when you first start, it feels like you're going to have to move kind of quickly to get things together. All right, that's what I know. This is about how long classes will last. They'll be about start about 5 minutes after, wrap up about 12:50. It's my time, 12:50, whatever 50 time that is for you guys. And then here's the goal. Here's the promise I made to everybody. You stick with me for 6 weeks. You come here every day for 6 weeks. You're going to be a fine ukulele player the rest of your life. Fine. You will be the best ukulele player in your neighborhood. Period. Most ukulele players aren't willing to put up with this level of intensity. And if you do it, you're going to be good. All right. So end of class, I try to remember all the time. 1, random act of kindness. That's never a bad idea, right? 2, safety, right now, especially if you are in one of the countries that's on fire, like the country I live in. Just don't go hang out with other people. Seriously. Practice a little bit. Keep showing up. Those are the 2 keys to becoming a musician. A little bit of practice and a lot of showing up. And then if you have time, it makes sense to subscribe. In other words, you're logged in in your Gmail account into YouTube. Subscribe. That way you don't even need to go to Jolly Roger Ukulele to get the link. It'll magically show up on your YouTube page. And then if things went pretty well, give me a thumbs up. You can give me a thumbs down. I don't really, whatever, but give me, do one of these things so that apparently I get a free puppy if enough of you push a thumbs up. And so that's what we're working on. Questions, obviously, guys, send me an email if it seems like what in the heck is going on here. Send me an email. Let me help you handle some of that. Again, I am fairly saturated with email, and so I'll do what I can to get back to you. And I hope you're having a wonderful day. We're going to start New Year off right. We're not thinking about becoming great ukulele players in the future. We're thinking about being a better ukulele player than you were yesterday or the day before. And if you learned something today, you're a better ukulele player today than you were yesterday. And that's the New Year's resolution. Our New Year's resolution is I got to be better than the guy that was playing ukulele on December 31st. So there we go. And at the end of that, hope you guys having a wonderful day, and I will see all of you tomorrow. You are absolutely welcome to come to the next hour's class, which is at 1 o'clock, just to see what we're playing in there. It's going to get the level of crazy picks up pretty heavily from this class to that class. So come hang out with us if you can, and hear what's going on in that class as well. You'll be surprised at how many things that you learned today show up in that class as well. So let's see, where did I leave off? Vic, thanks for being here. Good to see you. Nancy, stay safe, do good. Press like and subscribe. Nancy has my end of class thing memorized. Elizabeth, glad you're here. Delighted to have you. Bruce, very good to see you. I'll eventually learn all of your names and where you're from when you log in the mornings or for class. Give us say, hey, it's Nancy. I'm from Florida, and the weather is better than wherever you are, or whatever. Right? Give us a little weather report of what's going on in your neighborhood, and delighted to have all of you back. Linda, good to see you. Rob, let's keep that cat in line, and glad you're here again. And we'll keep moving forward. You guys have a wonderful day. I'm going to pull the stream, and I will see all of you tomorrow, or I'll see you in the next hour.